Expand design, a roomy cabin, dual-tone interiors, 15 smart utility spaces, and a large boot space, all there to expand your life. Welcome to Easy Space.
Mandeep Nalwa, the CEO of Singapore-based Taurus Wealth Advisors, says that emerging economies like Sri Lanka should invest to strengthen the depth in their economies in order to deal with possible future shocks.
He says that the present is the most suitable time for such investment.
Now, Nalwa, who visited the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo today, made this statement exclusively speaking to Newsfirst Shamir Rasuldeen.
I think over the last few years, there's been too much of liquidity that's been generated out of the major economies in the US and Europe and also in Japan. But there are not adequate capital controls, and this capital has flown into markets like Asia. Even as the medicine that is being given to those economies is to create liquidity for those economies. But since that capital cannot be controlled, it's resulting in bubbles in other parts of the world. So obviously that medicine is not working very well as far as Europe is concerned. It has worked to an extent in the US, as we see that the economic data in the US has been improving. But I think the fragility of the European economy is there for all to see. I think things are going to turn towards the negative side as far as Europe is concerned. I think the key is that when the markets are driven by greed and fear, investments are driven by greed and fear. So when greed is in the markets, as we've seen from 2009 to now, the point I'm making is when things are calm, that's the time to invest into developing depth in the economy, so that when the times become tough, as we might see in a couple of years, interest rate risk is the biggest risk in the global markets today, and if that risk becomes an actuality, to prevent damage from those kind of risks, countries like Sri Lanka would need to make sure that they have invested in their economic strengthening during the good days.